This ain't a riot, it's a little taste of the way we are. No peace or quiet, till the ceiling breaks and we brave the dark. I'm not a child, still I want safety as a fact. It's been a while, but they took the power, take it back. Hoping, praying, waiting for the curtain call. What will we see when the curtain finally falls? It ain't a secret, we're all aware of the way it is. I know you see it as an open fact of the way we live. Oh, aren't you tired? If you didn't choose this, then who did? Where can I find them? I wanna tell them a couple of things. Ooh, so many stories in the same shade. Ooh, how many more of these could we take? Hoping, praying, waiting for the curtain call. What will we see when the curtain finally falls? Ooh, so many stories of the same thing. Ooh, for how much longer can we take this? Hoping, praying, waiting for the curtain call. Living with this kinda makes no sense at all.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the RS Racing League. My name is Pixel Thomas and today we are back here in Miami any second now and you should be able to see the race. I apologize for a late start. We had a bit of a rough thing going on with all the lobby issues. Something went wrong with EA, but luckily we are still here somewhat on time. Started about 10 minutes late, but that is a-okay. We have 15 minutes remaining in the qualifying. As we have currently only 10 cars on the grid, possibly 5th or 11th one. Let me quickly send the invite. Sadly, because of all the lobby issues that we've had, I have taken the role upon me as the lobby host, which means sometimes I will have to tab in and out to get the invites out of people that might disconnect for some possible reason. But I hope everything else is smooth sailing. Everything was just a bit in a rush, but we're back. So let's have a good watch. If you have the time, get some drinks, get some snacks, as we will have quite the long sit. Of course, like usual, we have the short qualifying format, and then we have a 50% race, which should take about half, so an hour and a half should be the total time that we are here watching this race unfold. Arthur was... I don't know who was the first one to go out. I think it was Brad who was the first one to go out for a time, and that is indeed correct with a 127.5. Currently still staying on pole ahead of Condols. We have France about halfway done on his hot lap. I apologize. Yeah, hay fever is kicking my butt. But we have Razor with a 27 almost flat. 27.027. Great time to be on pole with. But Jalmar instantly snatched it away, almost being half a second faster. As France's time got invalidated. It will probably go back into the pit. Yeah, indeed. France in the pits as we have Lumbergumber getting ready for his outlap on his timed lap. Currently on his outlap, trying to get all the heat in the tires that he can, saving up the battery if possible, which he's doing a great job by just having the ERS turned off while he is driving this part. As he will get let pass by, I think, Janice or Condols, one of the two. I think it is Janice, but here we go. Lumbergumber speeding up for his timed lap. Lumbergumber, track record of being always one of the fastest, with his first timed lap often being the one that will end him on pole. So let's see how he keeps up with Jelmer, who has an impressive 26.59. Fastest first sector, looking good for Lumbergumber. Let's see if he's able to carry it through. And oh, we should have our 11th driver joining soon-ish. Might not be able to participate in the qualifying, but he will be there for the official race. See, I missed the second sector border, sadly, because I was still checking up if the one person is able to join, but he should have joined, which is great. Then we have our 11th driver on the grid as well. But if you... oh, there he is. There's Markov spawned into the pits. Great stuff as Lumbergumber is about to set. Oh, 26.6. Barely behind Jelmer. Shows that we might have some serious competition with Jelmer and Lumbergumber. And of course, Raze is not too far off, which is what we like to see. We like to see competition here at the ERS Racing League. Now, if you want to compete in this race, in this league, of course you can. You can join our Discord, which you can find on almost all of our socials, or the ersracingleague.com. And yikes, Vucek here sadly got his lap invalidated because of the track limits. I hope I didn't butcher that name, because I don't know how to say that name. I'm just gonna try my best. Just you're just fudge. As Arthur is probably getting... never mind, he is not getting ready. His fuel is almost out, so he is just surviving until then. But yeah, if you want to participate in these races, you can join our Discord, which you can find on all of our socials, or ersracingleague.com. There you can join for free, sign yourself up for free, and then soon enough you'll be able to participate in these races. Of course, our summer league is already going on, so it will be hard to find an official seat, but you can definitely race as a reserve, which, as you can see, we really need in this league to spice up the races, because here at the ERS Racing League, we try to offer you the best racing experience totally for free. So just join our Discord, sign yourself up, and you will soon be able to race on these races. And Vaj right here just set the fastest first sector, snatching it away from Lumbergumber. Oh, a bit of a lockup there. Still going strong. A 103, nothing too fast right now. No new purple sector. But still looking pretty fast in my opinion. And he let go of the throttle. Why did he do so? Oh! He is out of fuel. So he'll have to go into the pits right now. And he will. Sad to see. He had a good shot at making it in the top 3 right there, but he just sadly was blocked from that opportunity just because he used a little bit too much fuel in the previous 2 laps that he did. Here we go, Markov, late joiner due to some electricity issues. Luckily, electricity got back. So he's here, finally participating again. Let's see if he is able to make a comeback after that late start. We have 7.5 minutes remaining here in the short qualifying that we do right here. So let's see if he is able to make those 7.5 minutes count. As he has the fastest second sector. Lando looking good, looking a little bit faster than what Foch would have done. As long as he is able to carry that speed through to the last corner. Is he able to snatch it? He is not. Finding himself on P6 with a 127.8. And now it's just Franz and Fudge to set a time. With Franz currently starting his time lap. Going through the first corner. And Razor snatches first place away from Jelmer by being hundredths of a second faster. And he is flying. Looking pretty fast so far from front. Before I think was Lenzi, but now Franz. And he's second now. A 101.9. That is good. That is almost a second faster than what Fudge did. So if he's able to keep it up, he might find himself having a serious shot at podium. Maybe top 5. That's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm thinking he would end up. Top 5. It will get close, though. It will get really close. He did have a bit of a late exit there. And, oh, just barely top 5. Good stuff. It's 127.09. As we will have Fudge just starting another time lap. We have 5 minutes remaining. Is he able to do it? No, he had multiple shots at it before. Sadly, wasn't able to wake it through. But let's see if he's able to gun it down the track. Through the wee-woo section. That is a fast first sector for Fudge. Really pushing the limits there. But it's looking good, looking pretty solid. If I say so myself, as long as he can make it through this annoying chicane. And that is contact. No damage that I can see though. As he is still on a really impressive pace. Fastest second sector as well. We might have a real good contender for pole position. 4 minutes remaining. Come on, Fudge. It's looking good. It's looking really good. And that is pole position. A second faster than Razor. What? Nah. Nah. Okay, if he's able to carry that speed through in the actual race, I don't think Razor and Jelmer will have a chance. What a pace. Yeah, that is impressive. That's really, really impressive from Fudge. A 125. No way that I even would like get close to it. Like, nah. For people that are known to be incredibly fast, such as Razor, such as Jelmer, such as Lumbergumber, they aren't even close. Hopefully they can go for a new time and get closer. But currently, there is just a ginormous gap between them. Really, really impressive stuff from Fudge. Let's see how Condors is able to go. Almost a second faster than previous. Already through the first sector. Is he able to carry it through? That is a question. Looking pretty solid so far. A second and a half faster. That's already looking good for Condols. That should, if he is able to carry it, should get him in the 126s. That is what you want. That is where everybody is at right now. As everybody is on their outlap, trying to get that last lap in before the time runs out. And Condols gets a 126.6, currently landing himself on P4. But how long will he stay there as everybody else is starting their timed lap? As you could see that Markov got the fastest second sector. Could be a bit faster for Markov. But it is still an improvement of half a second, finding himself in P8 as he probably won't have time to go for another lap. What about Arthur? His lap got disqualified, so he is going for yet another one. I hope he saved up his battery because that is what he's going to need. Franz, everybody is just starting their time laps right now. But I think we might want to set our sights on Jalmar or Lumbergummer, see how they will compare to the person currently on pole with a 125.5, over a second faster than Razor. Currently finding himself in P2. Let's see. Jalmer and Razor. Let's see how Jalmer is comparing to his previous time as he will make it through the annoying chicane any second now. Here we go. Looking like a solid time so far. A 10 fast. I doubt he will get close to the time of Fudge. What about Razor? Barely faster. This is going to be rough. Lumbergummer just finished finding himself on P2 with a 126.039. That is still really, really impressive. What about Jalmer? Will Jalmer be able to improve? Yes, he will, overtaking Razor, but Razor has the opportunity to snatch it back right now. It will be hard, but he does it barely with a 10th to spare. As we will have Brad making his way through the final corner right now. Woohoo! As he just crashes for fun. Arthur sadly got his lap disqualified. That will find himself starting all the way in the back with an invalidated lap. Sadly, which could have won him some time. And not lose distraction when trying to accelerate. And that sadly ends him up second to last. P10. as his entire front wing is quite heavily damaged. As we will now wait for Arthur or Anna to go into the pit box till the very animation ends, and then we will be going into the official race. So once again, if you ever feel like participating in these races, which we always are looking for new drivers, you can join our Discord, which you can find on all of our socials or eresracingleague.com. Join there, sign up for totally free, and you can be in the next race right here. Alright, here we go. These are the final standings, with Fodge being first place, followed by Lumbergumber and Razor to close off the top 3. Then we have Jelmer, Conduls, Janice, Franz, Markov, Brad, and then Nat Northern to close off the top 10. Then we have Arthur all the way P11, which will mark an end to the drivers that we have on the grid. Now we will be loading in, and this will be the moment where we'll be staring at the pit boxes for possibly quite a while, as all the drivers are loading in. Everyone is choosing their strategy, because strategy might what it all comes down for. You can, of course, choose a pre-made one, which the game just chooses based upon how you qualified, but also you can just make one yourself, see what fits you best to hopefully grant you the biggest shot at the race win, which is what we're all after, of course. Only one person will sadly make it out of the points today, as long as everybody finishes. So let's see who will be fighting for the most points for today. As we are still waiting. As I said, we will be looking at it for quite a while. Any second now. Any second now. Here we go. We should be starting with the formation lap. Unless I forgot that. Yes, indeed. We are starting with the formation lap. Luckily, I didn't forget that feature. As I said, with the sad but lobby issues that we were having before we were able to start this race, I had to real quickly just smack in all the settings, so I'm glad I didn't forget most of the stuff. Yeah, this is my perfect time to do my usual wishes for this race. What I'm hoping for is a clean formation lap and a clean first lap after the race. After that, I don't care what happens. All hell can break loose for all that I care. I'm just a humble commentator watching all the chaos unfold. And boy, do I love myself some chaos. But with the limited amount of drivers that we have on the grid, I hope it will be clean racing from everybody. That everybody is able to make it across the finish line. And it seems like there will be no rain. So that is one step closer to that wish coming through. As everybody's just trying to get some heat in their tires. We want to get ready for that race start, so they can be away the fastest on the line. So let's see our current tire situation. Everybody is on the mediums, except for Fodge and Nat. So let's see how those hard tires will keep up with the entire grid being on the mediums, which should end them up with more grip, which means more speed on acceleration. And also, of course, that you can take the corners tighter. So let's see how they compare, as we will go through the last few laps, or last few corners of the track, as everybody will be lining up on the grid. So let's see. People are getting disqualified. Don't worry, they will be there for the race start. It's just that they didn't park their car according to the book. So everybody is lining up. Arthur in the back as well. as we will soon see the lights turn on. And I'm looking forward to it. Here we go, all cars are lined up on the grid. As any second now, the lights are turning on, any second. And that will mark the start of the Miami Grand Prix. And here we go. Summer League Tier 1, Round 3 is a go. As we already have Vaj making a great escape at the start, as we have a bit of a rough start between Lumbergumber, Jelmer, and Razor. Slight contact between the two. Everybody is luckily still driving without damage that I can see. As you can see, Janice and Condols in a battle, with Condols going a bit... No, it was Janice going a bit wide, and Condols luckily managing to get ahead of his teammate. As Nat now finds himself sadly all the way in the back, starting on the hards. Arthur just had a better start, had a better exit on the grid, and that will mark Nat currently all the way in the back, but still within attacking range of Arthur and the rest. As we have Brad following Markov real close behind. This sector is really hard to overtake in. As you can see, slight contact between the two, no damage luckily. But we will probably see some overtakes happen down this straight. DRS is not enabled yet, so we will not see overtakes being used through that. As Nat sadly is already at 1.3 seconds. He has to work some magic to find himself back in the DRS. I will see. Oh my god, Condols tried to bomb himself down the inside. Slight contact between him and Franz. Sadly causing Condols to slide out, spin out, and he will find himself all the way in the back now without damage that I can see though. So as long as he is able to drive consistently, I think he should be back soon enough. As Franz is now shooting a shot at the teammate of Condols, Janice. As he's driving smoother lines, Franz has a better exit. Janice got real close to the wall, had to break mid-corner. That is something you do not want to do, because that will mean you will lose way more speed compared to the others. Franz side by side with DRS. Is he able to make it work? It is a very long DRS zone. And just barely makes it work. Janice did kind of try to close the gap for him, made it harder for Franz to turn around him. But he made it work. As Fudge is already at 3 seconds compared to Jelmer, Lumbergummer, Razor. First, the people on the top 3 before Fudge at a time. All battling it out, as we can see Razor getting closer to Lumbergummer. With way better acceleration. However, Lumbergummer does also have DRS. Jelmer, however, manages to stay ahead. As Vaj improves his time yet again with a 1:30.1. Impressive time from Vaj. They're still letting a bigger and bigger gap fall between him and P2. I love these new cameras in F125 though. Except for the lobby issues that we had, I have been thoroughly enjoying F125 ever since it came out. Lumbergummer's already getting close with the use of DRS, however, but I think it will be cutting really close to try and go for the bomb here. Doesn't risk it just yet, just start to use this to get closer. As he is driving really smoothly through the rest of Sector 2. But of course Sector 2 is really hard to overtake. It will all come down to Sector 1 and Sector 3. Which will start right now. Oh, Jelmer had such a great exit there, causing Lumbergummer to fall behind a little bit. But I think even still, Jelmer might be in danger. It will be quite a long ways to go for Lumbergummer. Razor, however, it was getting really close to Lumbergummer. Lumbergummer has to worry about being stuck behind Jelmer for much longer, because it might end himself up losing another position as Varjtag once again improves his time with a 1/10 of a second. seemed like track limits for Razor right there. No penalties being dealt out just yet. As we have Lumbergummer getting real close to Jelmer, and we aren't even at the DRS zone. Jelmer was able to pull away slightly, but Lumbergummer, with the use of DRS, tries and get ahead of Jelmer. Jelmer sticking around the inside, real defensively, not giving Lumbergummer any space. Lumbergummer being pushed slightly wide, still sticking around the inside. With Jelmer still sticking there. Through Sector 2, this will be a very tight, close battle as both of them still maintain on track. Everybody avoids the wall somehow, but Jelmer will have to work some magic with Lumbergummer and Razor right behind. Lumbergummer already using a lot of DRS. DRS is now open, as this should be a clean overtake. That was still cutting real close as Razor tries to bomb it down the inside. Didn't really fully risk it, as we have Rad spinning out in the background. Luckily avoiding the wall, but that will cause him to lose 1 or 2 positions if he's not careful. Oh, as Jelmer is trying to fight back the position of Lumbergummer. Franz came out of nowhere and overtook Razor in the back for P4. As Razor still tries to stay there. Oh, such a close battle. Full speed through those corners. As Razor manages to fight back that position. However, Razor is now outside of the second. He won't have DRS. However, Franz will. Maybe that was just a tactical retreat of Franz. So he is able to use the DRS to get by Razor, which he seems to have no issues with at all. As that is Franz now officially in P4, unless Razor tries some funny business through the rest of Sector 2. But it will be hard to do. What horrible cameras that the game is choosing. I cannot cycle through these, sadly. But here we go, the ginormous DRS train that makes up the entire middle field. As Jelmer used the DRS to get close to Lumbergummer, however, Jelmer wasn't able to make it work, as Vaj currently finds himself in no man's land. 7.5 seconds ahead of Lumbergummer. Just cruising on his own tremendous fast speed. As Jelmer at the end of the finish straight managed to get ahead of Lumbergummer. Lumbergummer doesn't want to give away that position, however, due to slight contact between the two, Lumbergummer lost control, lost traction, causing him to lose precious speed, now putting him in the under, I guess, attack of Franz as well, as Franz and Razor are still within that battle. It seems like Lumbergummer is struggling to find a little bit of traction there, as you could see him getting a little bit of wheel spin coming out of that corner. Really tight bunch. As Lumbergummer is really struggling to find grip. All the DRS are being open, and Condul's getting a penalty for corner cutting. I think he really wants to get by Nat Northern. We're still managing to stay ahead on the hard tires instead of the medium tires, which Condul's is on right now. As Nat Northern will try and go for the overtake. Does he have enough speed? Barely. Brad was just keeping the door open for him as Nat Northern just instantly slides himself into the wall. But it's still not managing to stay ahead. Brad touching the wall, trying to go for the inside there. Well, there wasn't really a gap. Nat Northern did expect Brad to be there, though, as he gave him space. Just had a better exit line as the battle gets a bit dirty. Slight contact between the two. Condrios doesn't want to be here any longer. The best thing you can do if you see such a battle going on in front of you is just to try and get by as soon as you can, as this will cause you to lose time as well as those who are battling. Let's see what Razor is doing with the use of DRS. Wasn't able to get close enough though. As Jalmer and Lumbergummer are battling it out again. Lumbergummer once again losing that position back as Franz tried to shoot a shot in the same corner at the same time. Didn't sadly make it work. Slight contact between the two, but no damage. But let's see if Condors is able to get by right now. I doubt it though. But Brad is definitely in danger. Almost a second ahead somehow. But Nat is currently closing the gap big time. And now also has DRS. Condors having so much speed. Battery is fully drained though. As he tries to go for the outside move. Nat closes off the inside. Forcing Condors to take that corner pretty slow. As also struggling to find some wheel spin. He doesn't want to risk it out. He will probably go for the hard tires. And plans to finish the race on that. As Nat and Brad continue their battle. That rhymes, Nat and Brad. Still a ginormous DRS trend that we have going on. Jalmer leading the bunch with Lumbergummer close to follow. We might see an overtake happen soon enough. You can already tell that Lumbergummer is trying to get as close as possible as he can to Jalmer. Jalmer having an amazing exit right there. Great acceleration. As Lumbergummer now falls to half a second. Is he able to make it work and climb closer? I don't think so. It's too far away as Jalmer still manages to stay ahead of the entire bunch. As Arthur is also going into the pits. Same for Brad, as Nat now finds himself 2 positions up. And let's see if he's able to make it work through here. It's quite the gap once again. 7/10 of a second that he has to make up through this DRS zone. Doesn't make it work as we will go to the very tight and technical section of this track. So I don't think he is able to make it work through here yet. Jalmer manages to stay alive and ahead yet another lap, I think. As he... Oh, never mind. It is already pretty close. This time Lumbergummer has the better exit, or has a better exit. But still Jalmer just pulls away 6/10 of a second. Just because of that one acceleration, that one exit. He just makes such a big gap fall between them. And that just... I think he just slows them down on purpose, saving his battery so he can just get away as fast as he can. As we might have ourselves a battle, never mind, going on between Brad and Condors. Brad messed up, hit a wall, causing him to slide out, slow down as Condors smashed into them. But because, of course, it is not ideal what happened to Brad. I think he has front wing damage because of it as well. Yes, he does indeed. He just decided to give Condors the position as he found himself just being out of that battle. Didn't have any use for him to still continue that battle, so he decided to give it away. As Lumbergummer and Jalmer are still staying out, save for Razor, but everybody else is in pitting. Nat, before finding himself in last place, currently in 5th place, still driving on those same hard tires. As Fudge is 7.8 seconds ahead on the hard tires. Wait, what? Markov now finds himself ahead? I hope that that is a bug. Yeah, Markov is just in the midfield. I think that's just a bug. As here comes Vojtek, as Jalmer lives to see yet another lap. What he is leading this pack. Will they soon go pit, though? They are all staying out. No moves or thoughts about an undercut from these guys. As Franz already overtook Nat Northern. As we have a safety car. Who is it? Who is it? It's Brad. Having lost his entire front wing. For some reason, he decided to stay out. Even though he already had quite some front wing damage. Now we have an entire front wing on the track. So this should be the perfect moment to go into the pits. Get yourself some new fresh tires. As Condules is staying out. He did get some fresher tires. So this will be a good opportunity to close off the gap. I still don't know why Markov is considered first place. Really, really weird bug. But if I'm correct, the safety car only disappears once everybody has caught up to the safety car. And because Vojtek is over a minute behind according to the game. Somehow. They will probably be allowed to overtake, I think. Really, really weird stuff going on. As the original top 4 are currently going into pits, as Markov is still just behind the safety car. I find this so odd. So odd. Never seen this happen before. At all. As I bet Markov will go into the pits as well. I think maybe what happened is, let's see how old the tires are. 2 lap old hards, and he has been driving for 2 laps till it's swapped. I think when Markov hopped into the pits, his finish line trigger got triggered twice, causing him to be ahead a lap, according to the game. Even though he wasn't. As it is... Let me see who that is. Not Northern, almost crashed into the back of Markov. Braking a bit too late. As Condules follows right back behind. As we have our first retiree of the session, and that is Brad. After losing his entire front wing, he decided the race was not his anymore. So now, as long as everybody finishes, everybody should end up in the points. I mean, everybody will end up in the points. As long as you don't crash. Which, you know, might be smart. As we are still waiting for everybody to catch back up. As Fodge is half a lap away. I should have used this time to get a drink, but oh well. We will just stay alive as we are close to being halfway done with the race. Come on, you lot. Drive a little faster. Come on, do it. Of course they won't. You got your Delta speed that you have to keep up with. Yeah, indeed, it's Jordy's safety car. But for some reason, with a weird bug going on, Markov just teleported to first place. Oh, Brad crashed into the entry of the third sector, right here. He crashed into the wall and broke his front wing. However, Markov, who pitted, somehow got triggered to finish twice. So he's now a lap ahead of Vojtak, even though he was like P7. So that is pretty funny, but I don't think it will be too much of a threat. Vojtak was able to win 7 seconds on Jelmer, Lumbergummer, and Razor. So we will probably have a good battle going on if they are allowed to catch up to the safety car, which they probably will be. As Lumbergummer goes into the pits again for some reason. Without swapping for fresh tires, he just drove a straight line. Oh, never mind, he did get fresher hards. So he's able to push more power, more speed out of those tires for a longer time. As everybody else is on also hards except for Vaj and Nat. They started on the hards, currently on the mediums. So they will have quite a long ways to go if they want to finish the race on them. But here we go, Vojtak has caught back up. And safety car is ending this lap, so race start should happen soon enough as long as the safety car is in the pits. Markov trying to get all the heat in those tires that as he is able to. As all the other cars should be catching up any second now. As Vaj is just driving in straight line. He doesn't care about the heat in his tires. As Markov will probably start any second now. Right here. He does not. Conduls ignoring the yellow flag, already overtaking. I think that was a bug where he was forced to drive ahead. As Vojtak is losing multiple positions to Razor and Jelmer. Fighting back already. Probably just traffic management was better from Jelmer, causing him to fly ahead of Vaj. So for Razor, they are struggling in the draft of a back marker. As all of them seem to make a safe restart happen, Lumbergummer following behind quite a bit. I don't think that second pit stop paid off well for him. As we have Franz probably looking for an overtake right here. If I'm correct, he doesn't have DRS late braking. No contact between the two. However, Arthur did really like force Franz off the track, causing himself to get a track limits penalty. Didn't leave space for Franz, so that might be a ticket going on. But we shall see. As Vaj is now slowly working his way towards Jelmer. Same for Razor, getting awfully close already to the back of Vaj. But Jelmer setting the fastest lap. Getting real close to Markov. Of course, his times will only get faster and faster because the cars are getting lighter and lighter with every lap that they drive. Lumbergummer 29.5. Impressive stuff as Vaj got really close to Jelmer. Just playing a bit safer, releasing a little bit through the reboot section. As we will probably see an attack happen soon enough. Look how close it's already getting to the back of Jelmer. As he's just releasing another safety car. Or that is just a bug. I think that's just a bug. I think he can just play it safe I think I just blocked out a safety car message in my mind. I think that is the case as the race is still ongoing. As Vaj just played it safe through the rest of Sector 2. As we might see ourselves an overtake happen here, it will be quite a long ways off for Jelmer to go for the overtake around Markov. He is getting close. He is looking. He is bombing it around the inside. Did Jelmer or did Markov expect him there? I don't think so. I think Markov was caught by surprise. However, still standing on his own, making it hard for Jelmer to go for the overtake. Jelmer currently managing to stay ahead. Markov, will he stay behind? No, yes he will. But now we also have Vaj, who is also side by sides with Red with him. Through the Weewu section, still side by side. Is he able to carry it through? Vaj is taking second place. Is he able to snatch back the race lead away from Jelmer? That is the question. Markov, who had the race restart in his pocket, was able to decide when to go. Now falling back to P3 with probably Razor flying past us here soon enough. As here we go, Vaj with a great exit on the last corner of the straight here. Managing to use the arrest to his advantage and snatch back that race lead. Let's see Razor getting close. Markov doesn't have DRS. He dropped out of that second as Razor was already creeping so close without DRS. Now with DRS makes it light work. As long as he doesn't look up or make a mistake here, and it seems like he has it in the pocket. Soon enough, Markov will get passed by his teammate Franz, with Conduls getting another 3-second penalty. What are the penalties at right now? Currently, we have 3 seconds for Franz and Markov at the exit of turn 1, with Conduls with a whopping 19-second penalty. That is an awful amount of penalties, with Lumbergumber currently P8, having lost 6 positions compared to his starting position. But he is getting closer. Let's see what Arthur's doing. Whoa. And that was a yawn. Arthur, 3 seconds away before. Now at the start of the straight, he was only 3/10 behind. Using this opportunity to get closer, but not close enough to go for the overtake. Let's see if Franz is able to make it work this time. Markov was back within that second. He does have DRS now, so Franz was made harder to get the overtake. Oh, beautiful catch back for a grip from Franz as he maintains within about half a second of Markov. Vaj already 1.8, close to 2 seconds ahead of Jelmer. Leading the race currently is in a league of his own, as the gap from P1 to P3 are about the same between each and every one of them. Way smoother line from Franz. Doesn't really have the exit that he needed for the straight. Markov did, however, getting way closer to Razor again, who overtook him 2 laps ago at the end of the straight. Will he make it work? He is already ahead, and I don't think Razor will bomb around the inside. No, he won't. He will play it safe. He will just wait for the other DRS zone to use that to overtake. Ten laps to go within Miami Grand Prix here at the RS Racing League. And so far, it has proven to be a very interesting race with the small amount of drivers that we have on the grid. So I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Whoa, Whoa! Razor did not expect Franz to be there. Bonging himself from afar down the inside. As Franz just decided, or Razor just decided to go drive his own racing line. Franz was just like, oh yeah, I see a gap and I'm going for it. Even though that gap just got closed instantly before he even lunged for it. I don't think he luckily got damage. So he's able to keep pushing. But that is not something I'd like to see a repeat of. Lumbergumber getting a 3-second penalty, trying to catch back up with a lot of them. Now he just has to keep it clean. Better exit so far. Sadly, Arthur will have the arrest here as well, making it harder for Lumbergumber to creep closer. Does have more speed. Will go for it around the inside. Will he be able to make it work though? Whoa! Arthur sadly got a little bit of oversteer there during the braking point. Otherwise, he might have been able to go for a switchback. Luckily, no damage between the two. But that was a great try at something that sadly didn't work. As we probably won't see another overtake here, Jan is using the battery in his ERS to squeeze out that little bit more speed, as Lumbergumber used all of his to overtake Arthur. So let's see how they are able to keep it going. Lumbergumber with great lines here. Instead of braking, just shifting down a gear, using the engine to brake a little bit as he stays high in the revs. Beautiful tactic. Will still be hard to go for the overtake around Janice. Janice is not like a bad driver. Janice has shown that he has quite a lot of speed, quite a lot of pace, and skill driving here in the league before. So let's see how Lumbergumber will try and pass him. Janice is playing it real slow, is playing it safe. Not leaving a single gap for Lumbergumber to go around the overtake. As you can see, the Lumbergumber is preying on that position. Already sharpening his fangs. And he's second now, and Lumbergumber's battery is dead. What about Janice's? Janice is also dead. Lumbergumber, however, will have DRS. Quite a long ways to go still. Will bomb the inside. Will he be able to make it work? Beautiful racing off the two, leaving space for each other. And Lumbergumber manages to get ahead, but now he has to save 4 seconds to catch back up with Franz as Janice decides to strike back around the outside. Lumbergumber around the inside. Real close to each other as Janice manages to stay ahead through the wee-woos. Lumbergumber will have the inside, however. Still beautifully side by side, as I think it will be going the way of Janice right here. But soon enough, we will have the DRS straight coming up again. Which one will have more battery? It seems like Lumbergumber has a way better exit here already. Will also have DRS. He did hit the DRS detection zone. Janice still managing to stay ahead so far, but Lumbergumber with the arrest still struggles to creep ahead of Janice. Lumbergumber around the inside. Will he give Janice space? Yes, he will. Janice is cutting across the corner a little bit, sticking around the outside through this very narrow section. Lumbergumber manages to stay ahead though. But will Janice be able to snatch it back? He had a worse exit right here than Lumbergumber. Using up all his battery to try and stay close. He will have the arrest on right now. Has a lot more speed. Lumbergumber driving, closing off the aggressive racing line. Doesn't seem to be able to make it work though. So he's just backing off right there as he will look around the inside this time. Not side by side yet. The arrest for Lumbergumber. Has a little bit more speed. Will have to come from far. Will he bomb the inside? No, he won't. Cleaner inside line from Lumbergumber. Janice is staying ahead though, but with a bit messier lines. Lumbergumber smoother lines around the inside. Oh, tried to go for the switchback. Janice breaking on a really awkward spot, causing Lumbergumber to have to abort his attack through that corner, as Janice will go wide. Get a 3-second penalty for track limits, as he just wanted to give space to Lumbergumber. Didn't seem to for him that it would work, but he is already fighting back already. What is this? How much speed does he have? Maybe that was his tactic, but sadly he did get track limits. Oh, Janice sliding slightly out. That will be bad for those tires. Driving another slope but defensive line, causing Lumbergumber to have no gap for it whatsoever. Oh, Janice sliding slightly out. Lumbergumber will have a way better exit here if I'm correct. Still side by side. I think Lumbergumber got the detection zone for the DRS. Yes, he did. Janice, this will be detrimental for him, as Arthur will now be able to get way closer. Doesn't have the speed to make it work yet, though. Lumbergumber sliding slightly out through the last two corners right here. However, he is managing to stay ahead with about 3/10 to spare. Janice with the DRS through this sector. Is he able to catch up? Has a lot more speed. Brakes a bit early. Plays it safe. But Lumbergumber isn't safe yet. We might see Janice go for another attack soon enough, as long as he's able to stay within that second. Lumbergumber driving smooth lines, just wants to get as much distance between him and Janice. Janice showed as a formidable foe, but Janice now finds himself outside of the second, as Lumbergumber will try and salvage what he can, but I don't think he will be able to salvage much. I think his main goal is to get 3 seconds ahead of Arthur to make sure that his penalty will not negatively impact him by losing a position because of it. Janice fought himself back within that second. Will he be able to stay there though? It's gonna be close. And I don't think he got the DRS detection zone while within that second. So that will leave Arthur to possibly have a very good attack. And oh my god! Vaj got cocky. He wanted to go for the fastest lap. Sadly, he got a 10-second penalty. Speeding in the pit lane. Used the brakes a bit too late at the pit entry, so that causes him to get a 10-second penalty, together with him losing multiple positions. Going to the softs, probably. Never mind, he's going to the mediums. 4 laps to go. Is he able to salvage it? I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. He is 3.5 seconds behind Markov. I think shared total will put him on 12 seconds behind Jelmer. I don't think he is able to save that in the last 4 laps. 12 seconds. That would mean 3 seconds a lap that he has to win. As he is actually putting a great effort to realize that. Wow. But still, that would only cause him to compete battling with Jelmer. Then he still has to make up for his 10-second penalty, which he probably won't. If he stayed out, he probably would have had it. But here we go, Vaj on Markov. Markov somehow still somewhat at the top after that really weird bug, causing him to lead the race for a few laps under the safety car. But here we go, Vaj already really close behind Markov. Markov doesn't have DRS, Vaj does. Vaj is also using his battery, and he makes light work of it. Markov nowhere to be seen again, as long as Vaj makes this corner work, and he does. Arthur is now getting really close to the back of Janice. Down the finish straight. Still not really within attacking distance, and I think he is losing it. As Vaj is now looking at the teammate of Markov. The person he just overtook around the inside. Really aggressive line there. Franz almost made it look like he was given space, but then close to get really aggressive. But I think he will be inevitable. Vaj will be passing Franz down this straight. Yes, he does. And with these two, already 3 tenths between them, half a second between them, 6 tenths between them, 7 tenths between them, 8 tenths between them. Just with only a few corners. And Franz is already outside of that second. Really, really impressive pace from Vaj. As he now has 1 second to save up to get to Razor. And then another 6 to try and get to Jelmer. However, it probably won't matter much with this 10-second penalty. Let's see what the other penalties are at right now. The penalties are 10 seconds for Vaj, 3 seconds for Franz, Markov, Lumbergummer, and Jeniz, and a whopping 19 seconds still for Konduls, who is still managing to stay on track. Which he does better than Brad, who DNF'd in the pit lane. Vaj with a pretty clean overtake around the outside of Razor. As Razor just instantly falls behind. He just lacks the speed, lacks the grip that Vaj has on his really, really fresh mediums that he is pushing to the absolute limits. 5 seconds away from Jelmer. If Vaj would have waited a bit, he would have had the DRS zone to win even more time compared to Jelmer, but I don't think he's going to need it. 2 laps to go. Will Vaj be able to have a battle with Jelmer? He will have to push himself to the absolute limits, risking everything and still making no mistakes. As Jelmer is already halfway down the straight, Vaj is just starting it. 1 second just now through the last part of Sector 2. Brakes locking up slightly. Vaj setting the fastest lap of the race with 1:29.3. Impressive times. As he is about, indeed, he has won 2 seconds in half a lap. Make that 2.5 any second now if he keeps this going. Seemed like track limits there for Vaj. As he has won his 3rd second in just under a lap. Vaj is on another level. This is insane. Oh, sliding out slightly. Still winning time somehow. Really impressive. Here we go. 5th second. 1. And he might be within that second already. He doesn't have the DRS detection zone to favor him just yet. As Jelmer is using up all of his battery to try and stay ahead. As Vaj is just cruising down that straight. He is ready to strike in the last lap. Ready to put on a show. It doesn't matter because of the penalty that Vaj has. But still, he wants to put on that show within that second. Already, DRS not open though. As Jelmer is afraid right now. Trembling in his boots. As Vaj is getting closer and closer. Half a second away. Through the Rewu section we will go. Any second now. 2 tenths away, 1 tenth away. Before even the start of the straight. All that through the Rewu section. As Janice snatches the first lap. But here we go. Vaj doesn't even have DRS yet. Already going for the overtake. DRS is open and he is flying down that straight. Jelmer trying to stick close. Using a little bit of battery. Doesn't want to use it just yet. He will probably strike back a bit. As we have Lumbergumber and Markov battling it out. Never mind. It seemed like a weird timing bug, I think. Jelmer already outside of that second. Vaj is not releasing that throttle, not letting go of the pace. He is locked in, and he is putting on a show. He is putting on a time, as in my eyes, we have our winner right here. Vaj, who will cross the finish line first, but will finish third, if I'm correct. Oh, barely keeping control of that car, barely keeping it on track, as Vaj crosses the finish line first. But Chalmer will win this race here in Miami. Razor will finish third place right here because he made a mistake as well. So here we have Chalmer, Vaj, and Razor, top 3 with Franz and Markov to close off the top 5. Lumbergumber, if he is able to keep it, will have his 6th place. Arthur, 7th. Janice, 8th. As we have Nat struggling to keep control of his car. It has been a race to just finish. Persistence for him. The mistakes that he has made. The battles that he has fought. Finding himself in the points. P9. As Condals, who hasn't had it the easiest. He hasn't had it the easiest at all. Is now making his way down that straight. Last man on the track in no man's land. After that mistake, just was racing with his own determination to finish that race, to find himself, get a point, as he will be making it through the last few corners. Here we have our last finisher of the Miami Grand Prix, Condals, finding himself P10. As we have our race winner right here. And here you have it, Jalmer winning the race with the fastest lap being Janice. Let me just add Jalmer real quick. Driver of the day, Franz, and most overtake Franz as well. Impressive stuff. So here you have it, Jalmer winning the Miami Grand Prix here in the Summer League Tier 1. With Vaj taking a 2nd place, sadly because of that 10-second penalty that he got speeding in the pit lane. Razor closing off the top 3 with Franz and Markov closing up the top 5. Lumbergumber, Arthur, Janice, Nat North, and then Condals closing up the top 10. And then our only DNF, Brad, on P11. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had a lot of fun watching it just like I did. Sad to have a bit of a rough start to it, which I apologize for once again. But I hope it was still really, really enjoyable watch. My name was Pixel Thomas, and I will be back next week as I will be competing in this Summer League myself on the Wednesday. Hope to see you there, and hope to see you here again next week, and hopefully this start will be a little bit easier. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will be back. Ciao!